Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, in the first online Global Social Entrepreneurship Conference. Today, we are welcoming 24 speakers from around the world that are connecting from different countries to share with you their inspiring stories of setting up social business. Currently, we have a pleasure to have a call with South Africa, Arnaud Blanchet. Arnaud Blanchet, after being CFO in France for 5 years, decided to travel to 20 countries around the world to meet social entrepreneurs, to learn from them, understand their challenges, to, at the end, effectively set up his own social business, last mile for BoP. I would like to welcome Arnaud together with our moderators, Antoine Leplet and Zenexus. And Arnaud, please go on with the presentation.
Thank you, Raphael. First of all, thank you for inviting me to participate to your conference. I'm very happy to be there and to be able to share my experience of social entrepreneurship. What I would like to do first is speaking generally about my experience and just to the introduction, and then come to the subject of the social business. So I would like first to give a definition, then to explain my experience traveling to meet social entrepreneurs, to explain why I did it and what I was looking for, what I find, and finally I would like to explain what is last mile for BoP, what are the assumptions and the social business scene in South Africa, and what are our objectives with this social venture. So this is the plan that I propose to follow. And for the first thing, I would like to introduce myself and just tell you a few words about what I've done before starting last mile for BoP. So as you said, Raphael, I was the CFO at the Women's Forum. The Women's Forum is basically a conference similar to the World Economic Forum, with a very specific gender issue focus. So I worked there for 5 years, and while I was working at the Women's Forum, I read a book called 80 Men to Change the World, written by two French men, Sylvain Darnil and Mathieu Leroux. And this book changed what I wanted to do. Reading this book, I knew that I wanted to work in social business, and I knew that my next position would be something linked with social business. And after 5 years at the Women's Forum, the company was bought by Publicis Group. I was not looking to work in a big group, so I thought that it was a good time to realize this dream of working for social business. And I wanted to start in my own social business, but I didn't know what kind of social business I wanted to start. So I decided first to travel, to meet social entrepreneurs, to know exactly what were the challenges, what were their activities, and what the life of a social entrepreneur looked like. So I first did a project called Discovery Notebook, which was, as you say, travel around 20 countries to meet social entrepreneurs. And then at the end of this travel, I came to South Africa to set up last mile for BoP. So the first thing I would like to do with you now is to share with you my experience of the travel that I've done. And first of all, give you my definition of social business. This definition is the result of what I've seen during my experience, my travel, and my meetings with social entrepreneurs. And in fact, the definition is that, my definition is that there's no just one definition, and there's not just one rule to follow. So I do not think that Mohamed Yunus' 7 rules, for example, should apply to all social businesses, because all social businesses are different. And for me, what is the common point of all social businesses is that they all seek to serve the community's interest. In a way or another, it can be very different. It can be more some environmental issues or some social issues whatever it can be, but the only common point is that they try to serve the community's interest first and not profit maximization. They also all try, if we reduce the definition to businesses, they also all try to be financially sustainable. So that's the definition that I would give of social business. And I got this definition, and I think that there is no rule and no just one definition, because I saw many different kind of social enterprise when I was traveling, and that was the aim of my travel. So my objective was to be able to have a very wide experience and like a view of everything that could be done by social entrepreneurs. And of course, traveling was also a very personal experience, and I wanted to visit all the countries where I've been. It was not just a social entrepreneurship travel. But after all, I thought that it was very interesting to have this social entrepreneurship side and aspect on this world tour. I found that the sector of the social business was interesting because you meet very different kind of people, very different business models, so it's very intellectually challenging. It's very interesting to learn all that. It's also a very friendly sector. I was always surprised to send an email or to call someone and to be able to get a meeting the next day and just have a coffee with the CEO of a company. It was so easy, and people were usually very friendly when I was just explaining what I was doing. So that was also a nice thing that I discovered during my travel. And finally, as I already said it's a very diverse sector. You can have a lot of different things. You can meet an Indian entrepreneur that doesn't have access to anything but still want to solve a problem that he experienced in his community. You can have Stanford graduates that don't want to go and work in M&A, so we choose to work in a social business. You have very different kind of social entrepreneurs, and as many social businesses as there is normal businesses. But what I really would like remember from this travel and from these meetings with social entrepreneurs is that all of them, or almost all of them, have some very interesting solutions. All of them try to solve a problem and just develop some creative solutions, creative business models to manage to tackle this problem. But even if they do their best, we must see that the social impact of social entrepreneurs is still limited. The poverty still exists. The diseases are still spreading in Africa, Asia, or in other regions. There's still a lot of environmental issues, and all of that is not really solved yet, and it doesn't look like we will be able to solve it in the next 5 or 10 years if we just continue this way. So I saw a very limited social impact in all the social businesses I see. And for example, it's very difficult to just name one social business that would be global because they're not. They usually really struggle to scale. And I think that one of the explanation of that, one of the reasons, and that's what also I saw during my travel, is that there is a lack of collaboration between social businesses. A lot of businesses do the exact same thing, but don't even know what their competitors are doing, or don't even know that they're existing. So that's also one of the points I saw, and that's why I thought that there was some interesting things to do in social business, and some interesting activities to launch. And that's how I came with the idea of Last Mile for BoP. So during my travel, I also tried to look for the cities where I wanted to settle, and I finally chose to come to South Africa, to Cape Town, because South Africa is a very interesting market of BoP, base of the pyramid, and I thought that it was a good place to set up my business. So what is Last Mile for BoP? Just in a few words, we try to distribute to the doorstep of everyone. It means that we want to go in townships and we want to go in rural areas. Everywhere where someone needs our product, we want to be able to deliver them. What kind of product do we want to deliver? We want to sell some income-generating and cost-saving products. This means a lot of things. It can mean solar lamps, it can mean sanitary pads, it can mean clean cook stoves, micro-insurance, microcredit, fortified food. I could just name hundreds of products like that help people to just improve their lives by either saving some cost or by giving them a new income stream. The common point between all these products is that they have to be specially designed for the BoP market. Why that? Because the BoP market has some very specific needs. And the first of them that I could give you right now is, for example, the credit solution that you have to link with your product, because you have to meet the very tight cash flow realities of the BoP market. So that's why it has to be specially designed for these people. And the last point of our activity, and something that I really want to care about, is to do everything in collaboration with existing organizations. There's no point to reinvent the wheel. It's much more interesting to use and leverage an existing distribution channel that goes, I don't know where, in a very remote village, instead of just trying to develop a new one. So what I want to do, for example, is to, as we said, piggyback with some trash collectors, use some postal services, use, for example, companies that manage to do this last mile distribution and master this activity, like Coca-Cola or like breweries in South Africa. There's a story in South Africa. We say that the government couldn't handle the delivery of some school books in 30,000 schools around Africa, South Africa, sorry. And some people said that they should ask the breweries to do it, because they managed to deliver some beers every day in more than 30,000 bars in the most remote places. So that's just an example. Of course, it was a joke, but that's a good example to see that some of the companies have already an existing distribution network that could be leveraged to target these people and to distribute some new products to them. So that's what I want to do, and I want to work in collaboration with all the existing organizations. But well, what we, let's say, our mission at Last Mile for BoP is to serve different kind of populations. Of course, our first target is the BoP market. We want to sell products that will change the life of the poor people in townships and in rural areas. Where I speak about poor people, I mean people that earn less than $4 a day. So that's our first target. We want to change their life, and they are our priority. But it's not our only target. As I said, we want to work with the existing companies and distribution network. And in that way, we want to assist the existing social entrepreneurs who sometimes struggle to be financially sustainable. And so we want to help them to get to this sustainability and to be financially sustainable. So how do we do that? We just ask them to partner with us so we can use their distribution network, we can use their knowledge of the community where they work, and we will give them a catalog of products that they can sell. So let's say that for the moment, the social entrepreneur is just distributing some microcredit or just some solar lamps. It's very difficult to be sustainable distributing just one service or just one product, because you have to set up your own distribution channel, for a very few, a volume that is not large enough to be sustainable. So our aim is to make this volume big enough to be sustainable for them. So to provide a catalog of like 100 products, to make sure before with field research that this catalog answer the needs of the population they are targeting, and then we work with them so they have some new income streams and they can become more sustainable. We can also do some consulting to help them to change their business model if needed, or to just improve the way they work and their business skills. So our first partner, for example, should be a saving group NGO that want to get some new income streams because they can be sustainable just with managing some saving groups, and they want to leverage this money that these people are saving in their groups, and they want to sell them some solar lamps. So that's one of the first projects we will have. But we don't want to work just with social entrepreneurs. We also want to involve large companies to just get into the BoP market, because this is a very large and untapped market so far. The markets of developed countries are mature, and it's very difficult to get some new market shares. And when you go on the BoP market, it's just a new market where you can have some big volumes of products to sell. So it makes it an interesting market and a market of the future for large companies. So we want to assist them and to be able to help them to get on this market, organizing some focus groups, some tests on the field with some of the products they would like to design, to assist them designing some new products, and basically to give them some consulting services on how to market their product for people. The South African market is a very good example of that. It's a very difficult market to understand. For example, before people go to the supermarket at the beginning of the month, then they will go to local shops during the month, and they could just buy products from door-to-door sales agent at the end of the month, just because these different actors answer some of their needs during the month. Like they don't have cash at the end of the month, so they can go and pay the transportation to the supermarket. But there's still some issues, because if you go to a local shop, you will pay the same product 30% at a price that is 30% more expensive than in the supermarket. So there's a lot of things that you can do and knowledge that you can give to large companies on marketing your product for the BoP market. And finally, we also want to work with large industries and with the state, public administrations, to replicate some projects that I've seen when I was traveling and that have proven track record. For example, some toilet blocks or some clinics that are really needed in South Africa, because as you may know, South Africa was had some social problems, especially in the mining sector, with some strikes from the workers because the wages were not enough for them to live with dignity, and there were some violent strikes. So these companies have, I think, they have an interest to try to work on social projects, to give, for example, some new social services to their employees. It will be less expensive for them, but it will also answer the needs of the workers. So that's something that we will try to work on after our first pilot project. What are the steps today of Last Mile for BoP? Where are we, and what are we doing now, and what are the next steps? So as I said before, Last Mile for BoP is BoP is a very new venture. I just set it up like 2 weeks ago. It was officially set up 2 weeks ago. I've been working on the project for more than 6 months now, but the company was set up in South Africa 2 weeks ago. So it's called Last Mile for BoP Africa Pty Limited. That's the official name. And our next step is to conduct a field research in 20 communities in South Africa to understand the needs of the BoP market. Why do we target such large number of communities? Because the needs of the townships in Johannesburg and the Soweto, for example, and the need of the township in Cape Town, Khayelitsha, are totally different. So we need really to study different communities to be able to answer the needs correctly. When we have this information and collected all these data about the needs, we can build our catalog containing all the products and services that we will distribute, and then we will begin a distribution pilot project to just try and test different processes of distribution. As I said before, we could use the postal services, we could use the trash collectors, we could use the dairy collectors, we could also use large companies. There's a lot of different processes that we want to try, and we will do it during 10 months in South Africa, from June to next year, 2014. And finally, what we want to do once we've proven that the business model works is to involve as many partners as possible, to be able to reach as many communities as possible. And this will need to involve all the social entrepreneurs in South Africa, as many large companies as we can, to get everyone on board and everyone motivated to go to this goal of trying to tackle poverty. So it's really about collaboration, and we will really try to do that once we finished our distribution pilot project. But to do that, we have some needs, and we can't do it just like that. It's quite a long process. So today we already are looking for these partners and these social entrepreneurs. We already found some of them, like the Saving Group, for example. We also found a company doing some trash collection. So we are already building some partnerships, but we are looking for more. So if you know any social entrepreneurs present in South Africa, just contact us. We would be welcome to discuss with them. We're also looking for a passionate team, because so far I'm working on a project, but I need to find, for example, a Black South African partner to comply with what we call here the BEE, so the Black Economic Empowerment. It's a rule to try to help Black people to get some jobs and to be skilled. So I'm looking to employ and to partner with a Black South African. I'm also looking for interns right now. So there's an ad on our website, www.lastmileforbop.com. If you're interested by the last mile distribution, social business, please have a look and see what we offer. It's in Cape Town, and the city is really nice. It can also influence your choice. And we're looking for suppliers, because even if we wait for the market research and the field research to know exactly what products we will put in our catalogs, we want to build some relationships with the suppliers, and we want to find the best-in-class products. So we're currently looking at solar lamps manufacturers, clean cookstoves manufacturers, and almost all kinds of products that can answer the BoP needs. So same for the internship proposition and offers. If there's anyone that you know that could be interested in distributing some social products in South Africa, we would be very happy to hear about them and to contact them. And finally, because it's also important, we need to find some investors. We don't want to find the investors right now. We really want to show that our business model works. So we will first do our field research, and once we show that it works with some communities and show that we just need volumes to be sustainable, then we will ask for investors to help us to get to these points. So that's the step that we have today. Finally, as a conclusion, what I would like to tell you, and that's the citation that I used on SENS24 website to introduce my profile. It's a quote of Georges Clemenceau, and I like this quote because it just shows that you don't need a lot of things to make change. You don't need to wait for many things to begin to try to make a change. So you just have to use whatever you have today. It can be your skills, it can be your time, it can be your assets or whatever, or just your will to change something. And by just using that and leveraging of what you have, you'll manage to change some of the things that you think should be changed. And this first change will give you the possibility to go further and to change even more things and hopefully to change the world. So that's the final word I would say is that just do whatever you can with what you have, and that's already a good start. So thank you very much, and I am looking forward to answering your questions if you have any.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Arnaud, we have a question from the audience actually on your journey, your incredible journey with like 100 entrepreneurs in 20 different countries. Is because you spoke about the accessibility and friendliness of social entrepreneurs, and did you identify along like all your talk different and common characteristics of these social entrepreneurs? And that are they also different from entrepreneurs per se?
So I couldn't say that they're different from normal entrepreneurs because I had a real focus on social entrepreneurs. So I wouldn't compare them to normal entrepreneurs. But what can I say is that I feel like, let's say I could resume it in two different profiles of social entrepreneurs. The first profile that I saw was some local leaders or just local people in a community that experienced a problem and tried to solve it. I remember, for example, a rickshaw driver in Nepal that saw that there were a lot of poverty in his community, and that people that were doing the same job as he was, so a rickshaw driver, there was a lot of addiction to alcohol. People didn't manage to get any savings because they had to rent the bike they were using a day and everything. So he just set up a social business to produce some rickshaw taxi and to sell it with an innovative cash flow system where people didn't have to pay first and they could just get and pay their rickshaw taxi over the time and over the month. And it really changed the life of this community. So this is one type of social entrepreneur, some local guy that doesn't have business skills at all, but see a problem and is creative and just managed to change the way things are done. And the second profile that I saw was more business students, or at least people that were really skilled in business and that wanted to have more sense in their life. So they just quit their job, or after their studies, they turned down some proposals to join merger and acquisitions firms, and they preferred to work on social business. And so for that, they formed a part of like second kind of social entrepreneurs that did not experience firsthand the problems, but have the skills to change the things. And so they set up businesses. If you go to San Francisco, you'll meet, well, that's actually where I met the most social entrepreneurs. It was so easy. There were dozens of social entrepreneurs everywhere. You just had to go in a cafe and you could meet a social entrepreneur. So that's the second profile of the social entrepreneurs I saw. But one of the common points of these two profiles is that they were both as friendly as the others. Like local guys and business guys were very friendly and very easy to talk to.
So you are definitely part of the second type of entrepreneur, no?
Well, I've never been a rickshaw driver. Yes, I would say that I'm more the second type. Yeah.
And again, one last question about your journey, and after we go more maybe on last mile for BoP. It's because I think a lot of students, like listening to us right now, want to follow like the same path that you are doing and the same incredible journey. So how did you do it actually? How first this came to your mind? I want to travel in 20 countries and meet social entrepreneurs. And second, how did you sustain yourself during all this time?
Mm-hmm. So the first part, how did I decide to do it? As I said, it's reading the book 80 Men to Change the World. It gave me the interest in social entrepreneurship. And once you have this interest, you need to go further and to know exactly what you want to do. The thing is, I wouldn't say that I had time, but I took the time. Like I quit my job and then I had time, obviously. So you just have to create the condition to be able to travel. And actually, I do not agree with people who say when you're doing this kind of travel, who say that you're lucky traveling around the world and meeting a lot of people. No, you're not lucky. You just did the steps to do it. The first step is to quit your job. Once you've quit your job, is to organize, or you can even organize your trip before quitting your job. But it's just easy steps. Of course, it can be easier if you just finish your studies and go directly into a travel, because I agree that if you have to pay your expenses, I don't know, if you bought an apartment, if you have a wife, and if you have kids, it's probably more difficult. But it was not my case. I was just living on my own in Paris, so it was very easy to quit my job and go and do that. So the only thing I would say is just when you know that you have an interest in social business and that you want to travel, just do it. You can go and travel easily. It doesn't require any special budget. You can just do it with. I saw some people that were doing it for well, I wouldn't say no budget, but you can still stop in every country and work in these countries. So it's very easy. You can do it whenever you want. Just do the step and take the decision to do it. And once you've taken the decision, just organize it.
Okay, so I think with Rafa and Zenek, we are going to do a world tour soon.
Exactly.
Yeah. And now let's move maybe like to last mile for the BoP, because it's really like an amazing project, and I think it's a really ambitious project too. And Zenek has a few questions for you about it. Zenek?
So, I was disconnected. Do you hear me again?
Yeah.
Yep, we hear you.
Okay, perfect.
We hear you perfectly. Hello, Arnaud. This is Fred Vos speaking from Prague. Thank you very much for sharing a fascinating journey with us. It's quite amazing. If I understand correctly, I mean, if I were to summarize what Last Mile is about, I basically understand it as a wholesale distributor of products for BoP, right? Is that correct?
You're right. Yes, you're right. Yeah, well, I would add something though. It's wholesale, but it's also the logistics to distribute the products. So wholesale is not enough. It has also to be linked with some last mile distribution.
Understand. And if I then looked at the business perspective, I'm wondering, how do you guys intend to tackle the challenge of, let's say, a very broad focus, right? Because you intend to distribute a large amount of products from different areas. So what is your plan on taking up this challenge?
Well, you're right. This is really a challenge. You can see from different businesses that try to do the same thing. I mean, I'm not alone in this sector. There's also leading goods. There's also Apinoy. There's a lot of lots. I would say like 10 companies doing that in the world, and all of them have different business models. Leading goods, for example, just use some door-to-door sales agents. Apinoy use some local stores to be able to sell a lot of different products. What we want to do with Last Mile for BoP is combining all these different processes of distribution and adapt it to the different communities. you don't sell the same way in a township that you would do in a rural area. So I totally agree with you. It's a challenge. I can give you a final answer today because I still have to do the pilot project. But the aim is to find some creative ways to distribute this product and to be able to distribute a very large number of products. It can go from reading glasses to malaria pills, for example. And I totally agree that if you're someone from a township, you won't trust the sales agent that will sell BoP. Like, how can you be skilled in ophthalmology and be skilled at the same time in clean cook soaps? That's a challenge. But you can just try to find different distribution channels in the same place to do that. For example, sell the clean cook stove in the local shop and have a sales agent to sell the glasses. So we will have to be creative. I don't have a final answer to give you today, but I will in 10 months. If you just give me your contact details, I'll tell you how we do that.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you mentioned that there are companies that are active in the same field, right? So basically wholesale and logistics. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Would you be able to name like 2 or 3 like best case practices that those companies are using? You have mentioned that you are trying to combine them. So is it possible to elaborate on this a bit more?
Yes, of course. So the first one that I will speak about is Living Goods. Living Goods is based in Uganda, and they use a door-to-door sales agent model. In fact, they inspire their model on Avon. I don't know if you know this American cosmetic group, but they use the exact same model. And so this is a very interesting model. We will try to copy some of the things they've done and to collaborate with them. They're really friendly, and I had a couple of calls with them. I met them in London 2 weeks ago, also some of the representatives, and I really like what they're doing in Uganda. So we will try to get inspired by what they do. And one of the very interesting things that they do is a mobile platform to send some text message to pregnant women, for example, to tell them what they have to do at the 2nd month, the 3rd month, etc., or to send some text message to mothers of children that have malaria, to tell them that even if they feel better after 3 days, they shouldn't stop giving them the pills. So a lot of things like that are really interesting, and it's interesting to learn from their experience. Another company that I would like to talk about is Apinoy. Apinoy is based in the Philippines, and they have a different model. They sell through local shops. So they try to build a brand called Apinoy. Apinoy means Happy Filipino. And the aim is to transform all the local shops they have, or at least transform the ones that want to do it, into local shop that will provide the local people and the local communities with some social products and services. So that's also very interesting. And I just give the names of these 2, but there are like dozens of companies doing that. There's another one that is based in South America. There's a couple in Africa, and especially in East Africa, that are just beginning their activity right now. I think of Copia Global, I think of Organza, or this kind of company. So it's quite new, and of course, India is always a big market for that. So you have Drishti and Hybrid Solutions that are also companies that are on the same sector.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Thank you.
And in fact, you are not only like a wholesale distribution in the company, but also at the beginning you have kind of a hub between a lot of different partners. You try to connect them, as you say, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. And you're also kind of an active lab, like because you're trying a lot of different things. You want to get a pilot and lots of different models. So you have all of this together in a way.
Yes. Well, we try. In fact, we want to be sustainable. And to be sustainable, we have to have different activities because, just distributing some social products and services is not sustainable. It's not sufficient to be able to to afford the distribution channels and everything. So that's why we want to be creative and to have some other activities like consulting for large companies, helping them to get into this market, trying to help existing social entrepreneurs. That also must make sense and must enable us to be sustainable. So that's why we try to do different things. And just to talk about the different processes and try and be a lab, you're totally right. We want to try a lot of things and to give the result like open source, to give it to everyone. And we want to do it scientifically. So we want to use, for example, the GPAL methodology to show what are the best processes to distribute any kind of product, and then share this information so our competitors, for example, can do it, or other people that would like to use this knowledge could do it, and then our social impact would be higher.
I definitely think that the combination of Hub, Lab, and the website is like really going to create a great impact. I think it will need a lot of resources, financial resources, but also like from people. You will need like a big team. How are you with this, and what is your plan in order, like in terms of timeline?
Yeah.
How many are you right now, and how many do you think that become your vision come true?
To be honest, for the moment, we're one.
Okay.
So I've tried to hire some interns as soon as I can. So if there is anyone listening to this conference and that is looking for internship and that would like to relocate in South Africa for a couple of months, you're welcome to join. I'm also looking for, as I said, South African partners to develop the activity. And the other part of your question was what the step and how do we want to build it, because you will need a lot of resources. That's also why I want to partner with existing social entrepreneurs, because when you partner, you're not alone to get the resources. You can share the cost, and that makes it more sustainable. You can also, just the fact that you partner with an existing social entrepreneur that, for example, is doing some saving groups and already has the trust of the community, you will sell your product much more easily. You won't have to convince people that you're someone they should trust. They already trust the people that they see. So there's a lot of things in this partnership choice that we've made that will help us to grow the business more rapidly. Okay. And so just to give precise information, we're targeting 20 communities by the end of this year, and then we want to extend it by at least 30 communities a year.
Okay. Ambitious plan. Good.
Yes.
We'll definitely advertise anyway your job offer everywhere we can, so we hope you will find like a lot of interns. Otherwise, we can send you off 2 months. Apparently.
With pleasure. You're welcome.
Yeah, I would love to join.
And unfortunately, we have to end the call right now because we have the next speaker soon. But it was really interesting, and we hope we'll hear from you really soon. And that we will see like last mile of the BoP as a really successful company.
Thank you very much, and I will keep you updated with our results. And if anyone wants to get some more information, you're more than welcome to just see our website, www.lastmileforbop.com, and there's all my contact details, so you can contact me.
Great. Thank you very much, Arnaud. Thank you. Finished?
Thank you very much. Yes, I would like to just quickly advertise our partner. It's Unreasonable XC. Basically, they're organizing a conference April 26 in Barcelona, and they are inviting everybody. Unreasonable XC is basically a journey, one belief to change the world. 11 startups, 20 mentors on a ship that are going through 14 countries in 100 days and discussing the social entrepreneurship. So basically, if somebody is close to Barcelona, is invited to the conference. At the same time, I would like to encourage you all to post information on your Facebook about the conference. And thank you for joining. The next speaker will be Lane Herringman, who is only 28 years old, and he already set up 6 social businesses. It will be also very, very interesting call to listen to and to learn from. Thank you, Arnaud. Thank you, Menno. Thank you, Zdenek and Antoine, for joining.
Thank you. And I'll say hi to Unreasonable Institute for You. They're in Cape Town from tomorrow to the end of next week, so I'll meet them on Tuesday.
Okay, so perfect. Tell them that we are with them. We are Unreasonable in 24 hours marathon.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.